But yesterday, after my research, after a few drinks at the I think at the end of Broadway, San Francisco has a beautiful waterfront. The fog finally came in. It was the end of a work day. I went down to a place called the Waterfront Restaurant. I had a couple of drinks with my friend, the owner, Al. And you're not going to believe what happened to me. I step off the curb onto a very busy thoroughfare called the Embarcadero. The traffic is all coming from the left, from the direction of the ferry terminal. It's a one-way street where it meets my sidewalk, where I'm stepping off. So naturally, I look to the left. It's a red light. I step into the street. Just as my foot hits the street, a bicyclist comes shooting at me from the right side at about 30 miles an hour and almost killed me. He missed my face. I could feel the air in his bike. So I cursed him out. He gets off his bicycle. I said, "You stupid son of a you-know-what." I said, "Are you trying to kill somebody? You're going the wrong way, you idiot." He gets off the bike. He's 30 years younger than me and much bigger than me, and he says, "No, I only want to kill someone like you." That's what he said to me. Now, this is about a half a mile from where a friend of mine's wife was almost killed by a bicyclist a few years ago. The police are not doing their job in San Francisco. The police are letting these homicidal maniacs on bicycles kill people in crosswalks. They're letting them ride in the wrong direction, and it's time to stop. Where the hell is the San Francisco Police Department? Hiding in the police station. But I don't blame them. I blame the mayor, who has told the police not to touch the sacred cow on bicycles. But wait, there's more to this story. I step off the curb. I look to the left. No traffic. The bicyclist almost hits me. We get into a screaming match. He gets off his bicycle to come forward to me. I don't back off in a second. And guess what happened next? You're never going to believe what happened next, because I can't believe it. It was the hand of God. I'm sure of it. A black man who was the spitting image of Jimi Hendrix, but 30 years older, with gray hair and a big cross on his chest, comes out of nowhere, and he comes up to both of us and he says, "Act like gentlemen. Calm down. Act like gentlemen." And I say, "But he almost killed me." And the guy with the Nazi eyes, who had hate and murder in his eyes, the bicyclist, looks at the black guy, realizes there's a witness, looks at me, and he gets on his bicycle and he drives away. I learned something from that interchange. I learned two things. If you've listened to my show for any length of time, you know that I have a difficult relationship with God. Sometimes I think he exists, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I think that it's all a hoax, sometimes I know it isn't. In other words, I'm like the average man. Mother Teresa herself said, we found out in her memoirs, that she didn't know if God existed. But she continued to act as though he did. And so, I publicly doubted God's existence on this show as near as last week. Well, let me tell you how I interpret this near collision and the intervention of the true Good Samaritan. I'll tell you exactly how I interpret it, and then I'll ask you how you interpret it. Remember what I just said to you. I step off a curb, there's no cars, and this bastard comes out of the right side, the wrong way, 30 miles an hour on a speeding bicycle, and almost kills me. We get into a screaming match. He gets off his bike to confront me because he knows I'm older than him, and he knows that I'm less able to fight with him than he is. He wants to hurt somebody. He's a homicidal maniac. Out of nowhere, a Good Samaritan appears. A black man, looks like Jimi Hendrix, only he's gray. It's 30 years later. He's wearing a big cross. And in a quiet voice, but strong, he says, "Act like gentlemen. Act like gentlemen." Not commanding, imploring nicely. And he dissipates the entire situation, and he walks away and disappears as though he had not been there. What this is to me, an ordinary man, is God said to me, "You don't believe I exist? Let me show you something. I could take your life away without you even seeing it coming. With the loss of one breath, you're dead. If I want you dead, you're dead. And then, if I want you saved, you're saved. I'll put an angel on the planet for you. I'll put a black angel right on that planet when you need him." And that's what I saw. That's all there is to it. There's no other way to interpret this. Now, the agnostic or the atheist will say, "Well, you still don't prove God exists," but that's your problem, not mine. In other words, if God speaks to you directly in this manner, how can you say he doesn't exist? What do you want him to do, come in a white robe? Then you'd be Jimmy Carter. If you think he has to come and sit in your living room with you and have a cup of tea, then you're Jimmy Carter, okay? You may as well just be taking the strychnine drink with Jimmy and his relatives, and doing the hokey pokey up there.